Hello, high school test takers. My name is Carlos Lopez. I am a Costa Rican alumnus of Columbia University in the city of New York. I constantly scored in the 99th percentile, and I want to help you improve your SAT score. So today, we're going to focus on the 7 relevant English parts of speech to improve your SAT score. First of all, I want to thank you for watching this video. I would love if you could subscribe, leave a thumbs up, and perhaps even leave a comment. Besides, I would also love for you to write feedback on specific improvements that I could make for this particular video lesson, okay? Now we're gonna move on to the lesson. In traditional English grammar, there are 8 parts of speech known as nouns, pronouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, prepositions, conjunctions, and interjections. Okay, the last one is not included in the SAT grammar questions. Okay, so all that you have to know are the 7 first mentioned in this slide. Okay. Nouns are words that refer to people, places, objects, abstractions, and ideas. If a noun refers to a physical object or thing, it is concrete. If a noun refers to an abstraction or idea, or in general, something that is intangible, something that cannot be perceived with your senses, it is abstract, okay? Examples of nouns include dogs, cats, happiness, dog, physics, and time. So now we're going to go with identifying and highlighting nouns in each of the following sentences, okay? Now, you don't have to know for the SAT whether a noun is concrete or abstract, but it is helpful for you to master your grammar and have a complete comprehension of what you have to do, okay? It will help you make less mistakes in verb and noun agreement, okay? And that is essential for future sections. Now, please identify and highlight the nouns in each of the following sentences. Now, as we follow in here, what you have to do is simply write down the nouns that you identify. It would be better if you write down the noun and its classification, because that way you get a more tangible idea of what you're doing, but the one that only matters is getting which are the nouns in the sentence, okay? So we start with the first one. I believe that physics offers a practical perspective on the world, particularly for those working in construction, okay? So here we have physics, it is abstract, it is a subject, and it is a noun. Perspective is an abstract noun, it is just a way of viewing the world. World is a concrete noun, it is something you see, something you can feel. Particularly for those working in construction. Construction in the context of building something is an abstract noun, okay? Now, both of your fathers are undoubtedly capable of assisting you in gaining admission to college. Okay, so fathers is a concrete noun, okay? So that is definitely a concrete one. Undoubtedly gaining, so you have admission, okay? So when you go with admission, what you have to know is that admission is simply a abstract noun, okay? It is a state of gaining entrance to a particular institution, and college is actually a concrete noun, okay? It is a place. So you have those 3 nouns in this sentence. Now we move on to sentence number 3. So your sister is consistently in search of happiness, okay? So sister is a concrete noun, and happiness is an abstract noun. It is a state of great satisfaction and positivity, okay? Now we move on with sentence 4. I am transforming into death, the annihilator of worlds, okay? So death in this case, despite being referred to as an entity, is abstract. Annihilator is a concrete noun. It is someone you can see, someone that annihilates. And they have worlds, it is concrete, okay? So annihilator and worlds are concrete in here. Now we go with the 5th sentence, okay? You are the flame of my passion and my singular wish, and it is nothing more than a source of heartache, okay? So flame is definitely concrete, okay? A flame is just a visible gas, um, at least in like physical terms. Now, passion is just a state of great emotion and great fixation and determination, something that you love doing. Singular wish. So, wish is the noun here and it is abstract. It is something that you desire, okay? And it is the idea of desiring something, okay? So, it is abstract in here. Now, nothing is the idea of emptiness, the idea of a null element, and it is abstract. We cannot see nothing, we cannot essentially completely feel it. It is just an idea, okay? So it is abstract. Source, since heartache is an abstract noun, source in this case is abstract, but it is a noun. And heartache is an abstract noun, okay? And that'll be it, okay? Moving on to the next slide. So pronouns. Now what you have to know is that pronouns are terms used to substitute for nouns. Other way to say it is that they're words we use to simply avoid overusing other types of nouns, okay? Now, they provide essential details about the noun and sentence, including the point of view, whether it is in first person, second person, or third person, okay? And also the number, whether it is singular or plural. Some common pronouns are she, her, him, they, I, we, it, its, these, those, which, both, some, few, and many, okay? Okay, let's go briefly over pronouns, okay? So you have their point of view and their number. So basically the point of view, first person, number singular, has I, me, my, and mine, okay? For point of view, first person, and number plural, there are we, us, our, and ours. For second person singular and second person plural, there's you, your, and yours. You let the reader know the intended number for second person through context words, okay? Now, for third person singular, you have she, he, it, one, him, her, hers, his, its. And for third person plural, there is they, them, their, and theirs. Now we're going to notice pronouns in sentences without classifying them. In future videos, there will be more exercises on classifications, but this is quite simple. Just notice the pronoun in the sentence, okay? Pronouns in a sentence. Please circle or identify and highlight the pronouns in the following sentences, okay? For the sake of your learning, please pause the video and write down the pronouns that you notice in the following sentences. I'm going to start with the first one. One should always take care of his or her family, especially in cases where they are being reckless and foolish. Let's go with one, his, her, and they. So if you wrote those down, you're in good shape for the first sentence at least. Moving on to the second. They are very happy for you because she allowed you to employ him. They is a pronoun. You is a pronoun. And it's singular in this case. She is a pronoun. You is a pronoun. And him is a pronoun, okay? These are the ones that you had to write down. Now we move on to the third one. You are my fire. You and my are the pronouns in this case, okay? The one desire of yours. One and yours. Now believe when I comment. I is the pronoun in this sentence, okay? So if you wrote down those answers for the 5 sentences, you're in good shape for this 5 sentences at least, but we'll definitely have more practice in the future. I want to provide you with the best resources, but for now, let's just learn the basics, okay? Move on with verbs, okay? So verbs are words that indicate actions or state of being. The to plus verb form of the verb is known as the infinitive form of the verb. Examples of infinitive verbs include to be, to have, to read, to chase, to study, to break, and to believe. Verbs are not always used as infinitives. We must conjugate the verb and provide its subject to indicate what commits the action. Note, the subject is the noun or noun phrase that performs the action of the verb, or the noun or noun phrase about which something is stated in a particular sentence. Okay? Example: I ate the fries in the fry jar. The verb is ate and it is in past tense, and the subject is I. Okay? Now, conjugating the infinitive verb to eat, okay? So there are particular ways to, more extensive ways to conjugate a verb, particularly in its infinitive form, okay? But what you have to do is particularly move on and recognize the 3 main forms that will be helpful for your learning, particularly for the SAT exam, okay? So, past tense, singular, and first person. I ate. Past tense, first person, plural, we ate. Second person and singular, you ate. Second person and plural, you people ate. People is not necessary in most cases, but here I just added for context, okay? Third person singular, it ate, he ate, she ate. And third person plural, they ate. Now we move on with the present tense. First person singular, I eat. First person plural, we eat. Second person singular, you eat. Second person plural, you people eat. Third person singular, it eats, he eats, and she eats. Third person plural, they eat. Now future tense simple. We're gonna have first person singular, I will eat. First person plural, we will eat. Second person singular, you will eat. Second person plural, you people will eat. Third person singular, it will eat, she will eat, and he will eat, okay? Third person plural, they will eat, okay? So you can see more or less how it goes. I suggest you study more profoundly the verb paradigm if you want to avoid serious grammatical mistakes in your writing. But for the purpose of the SAT, you don't have to fixate so much in the verb paradigm for now. But just know your verbs correctly, okay? Just know how to identify them and how they relate to their nouns, okay? Verbs in a sentence. Please identify and highlight the verbs found in each of the following sentences. Now, please pause this video and grab a sheet of paper and write down your answers in that sheet of paper for the sake of your own learning, okay? It's the sake of your own learning here. Please pause the video, but right now I'm gonna go over the answers, okay? First sentence. I will create a new form of transportation, okay? Create is the verb in here. There's no other verb. I am your father. Am is the verb in here, okay? They will quickly catch those criminals committing pesky crimes against Duloc. They will catch committing. Those are the only 3 verbs in here, okay? So will, catch, and committing, okay? You will never let yourself become genuinely smart unless you take it easy. So here, will let become and take. Now for the last one. You are quickly flying away, Icarus. So are and flying. If you got those answers written down in your piece of paper, you're in good shape, at least for these 5 sentences, okay? The fourth part of speech is the adjective. Adjectives are words that modify nouns, pronouns, and other adjectives. Examples of adjectives include pretty, rich, blonde, black, yellow, large, small, asinine, incredible, funny, useless, intelligent, useful, smelly, and foolish. Adjectives in sentences. Okay? Grab a piece of paper or something to write on because I want you to pause the video and write down the adjectives you identified for each sentence. Please do so for your learning. Now, I am a Costa Rican man with short, dark hair. Okay, so Costa Rican is an adjective, short is an adjective, and dark is an adjective, okay? You are tall for a toddler, but I think you may be short for an adult, okay? So here you have tall, and here you have short, okay? I am the youngest child. Youngest is the adjective in here. Your mother is quite intelligent and rich. Quite is an adverb that modifies the intensity of the adjective intelligent. Okay, so only intelligent, and then here you have rich, okay? They are the worst tennis players in the most boring country in the world. So here we have worst and most boring. Here's a superlative form of the adjective, okay? Now, the bonfire is smoldering. The adjective is smoldering. I hope you got the same answers as I did. If you did, you are in good shape, at least for these 5 sentences, okay? Now we move on to the next part of speech. Now, the 5th part of speech is the adverb. Adverbs are words that modify verbs, adjectives, other adverbs, and phrases or clauses. Most common adverbs end in ly, such as defiantly, brilliantly, and gradually. The SAT is primarily concerned with conjunctive adverbs, which are adverbs that serve as transitional words between ideas written across distinct sentences or paragraphs, okay? Examples of conjunctive adverbs include however, therefore, thus, moreover, indeed, eventually, subsequently, finally, and furthermore. Examples of adverbs in general are quickly, slowly, however, hesitantly, everywhere, tomorrow, today, when, and always. Now we'll move on to recognizing the adverbs in sentences, okay? So please grab a piece of paper or something to write on just to identify on your own the adverbs in each of the sentences. Please do so for your learning. I'll move on with the first sentence right now. The water was spilled everywhere, okay? Everywhere is the adverb here because it modifies how the main verb, which is spilled, okay? So it tells us how the water was exactly spilled, okay? I ran 5 miles today, okay? Today is the adverb here. It indicates when the miles were exactly ran, the time in which you ran those miles. Now, we go on with the third one. I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is the adverb in this case, okay? When is it that the person indicates they're going to see you? They're going to see you tomorrow, okay? Joshua never washes the dishes, okay? It modifies the verb washes, and it tells us that Joshua never washes the dishes. So it is an adverb indeed. When do you want to go shopping? Okay? So we have when, and we have do you want? Okay? And it modifies, it is an interrogational adverb in this case. So we're gonna just work on it. Just notice that when is a particular adverb when it is used as an interrogational adverb, okay? So in this case, you see that it is a question and it is asking when do you want to go shopping? So here we select when. Now, the city is where the soldiers were stationed, okay? Here the adverb is where. It indicates how exactly the soldiers were stationed, so we select where. I hope you wrote down the words that I highlighted. You're in pretty good shape if you did. And now we move on to the next part of speech. The sixth part of speech is the preposition. So prepositions. Prepositions generally are time, position, direction, and location words. In other words, prepositions indicate where things and people are, where the people and things are going, and when the events happened. Prepositions are always followed by nouns, so you have to know that. The examples of prepositions include about, above, across, after, against, along, among, around, before, behind, below, beneath, beside, between, by, during, for, from, in, inside, near, next to, of, on, opposite, outside, toward, under, with, and, without. Now, here you have more examples of prepositions. Here you have the place, position, direction, time, and other. For place, you can see above, across, along, among. For position, beyond, by, down, from, in. Direction, on, opposite, out, of, outside. For time, you have after, before, at. And for other, you have except, as, like, about, with, without, by, and for. This is by no means the most exhaustive list of prepositions, but it helps you get an idea of how you can classify them, okay? Prepositions in sentences. Grab a piece of paper or something to write on, and please identify the prepositions for each sentence, okay? Now I'm going to start with the first sentence. I sat above the cat in the hat. Above and in are the only prepositions in the first sentence, okay? I am who I am, even when I am beneath dirt. Beneath is the only preposition in this sentence. It just tells us the position of the subject, okay? You saw me at the disco. At is the only preposition in the third sentence, okay? Your whole body is big except for your feet. Except is the only preposition in the fourth sentence. This was written by Carlos. By is the only preposition in the fifth sentence. I swim along the river when the sun is setting. Along is the only preposition. When is just an adverb that modifies the verb setting. So it modifies the word setting and specifically how the sun is setting, okay? Now, stop standing in front of me. So in front of is just the preposition that relates to the position of the person. They're telling them, don't stand in front of me. Stop that. Okay? So that's how you have this preposition set correctly, and I hope you got the same answers. Now, the last part of speech we are going to see today are conjunctions. Conjunctions indicate relationships between words, phrases, and clauses. Examples include and, but, however, therefore, so, although, yet, when, and since. Coordinating conjunctions are conjunctions that are used to join two independent clauses. Recall your fanboys. For, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. Subordinating conjunctions are conjunctions that join adverb clauses to a sentence, okay? So an adverb clause is a clause that talks about when, under what condition, in what manner, when, and where the action happened. I went home after the party, okay? Here's a great example. of a subordinating conjunction and a sentence with an adverb clause. Now, correlative conjunctions are conjunctions that are used in pairs, such as both and, either and or, neither and nor, not only and but, also, and whether and or. I am not only witty, but also reasonably smart is a sentence that contains a correlative conjunction, okay? Conjunctions in sentences. Please identify and highlight the conjunctions found in each of the following sentences, okay? So let's move on with this one. Please grab that piece of paper, write down your answers before I continue, and pause the video to make sure you learn adequately, okay? For the first one, I sang while I drove. So here, while is the only conjunction. For the second one, I am old and haggard, but I still get invited to parties, okay? But isn't here. The only conjunction in the second sentence is but, okay? You're either bad at tennis or good at grammar tests. So here you have a correlative conjunction. This is a correlative one, so you have either and or. I am not only Latin, but also the author of pop songs written in English, okay? So you have not only and but also, okay? Now for the fifth one, which is the last one, you can see is I'll come to dinner if you let me choose the place. So we have if in here, and that'll be it for this video. I hope you learned, and if you want to keep learning, please subscribe to my channel. We will improve your SAT score at Wise Guys College Prep.